Since the start of Islam in the 7th century, Islam has grown to be one of the biggest religions in the world. Currently, Islam has over 2 billion followers and is growing rapidly. Within the next 10 years, Islam is predicted to be the largest religion in the world. Now, why does this matter for Christians? Simply put, behind these numbers are real people who follow Islam. And to follow Islam means to reject Jesus and his gospel. It is our job as Christians to show them the gospel. And the most effective way to show them the gospel is to understand what they believe and why they believe it. So this 3-part lesson course will equip you to talk with Muslims about their faith and to effectively share your faith in the best way you can. Chapter 1. The Basics of Islam. That's like what the whole video is about. This is like, all of this is chapter 1. Just keep that in mind. Anyone can learn the basics of Islam. It's as easy as a history lesson. Just like a history lesson, there are some key people and terms that we need to learn before we get into the core of it. So let's start with definitions. Definitions. Muslim. A Muslim is someone who follows the religion of Islam. Quran. The Quran is the holy book of the Muslims, kinda like the Bible. Hadith. A hadith is an oral memory of Muhammad, his friends, and his close family, then later written down. Sahih. In the context of hadiths, Sahih shows that the hadith is trustworthy. Muhammad. Muhammad is the last prophet of Islam and the most important one. Allah. Allah is the Arabic word for God, but in this context, when we say Allah, we will be referring to the God of the Quran. Isa. Isa is the Arabic name for Jesus. Great! Now that we understand these terms, we can learn more about them. Let's start with, what is a Muslim? What is a Muslim? Depending on who you ask, the definition can change. If you ask a Muslim this question, you will either get one of two answers. Answer 1. A Muslim is someone who submits their will to God. Or you'll get answer 2. A Muslim is someone who submits their will to God and believes in Muhammad as the final prophet. There are some issues with both of these definitions, but we'll get into that later. The main definition of Muslim is someone who follows the religion of Islam. Just like Christians, there are different Muslim denominations. These denominations can vary on many different things, such as understanding of Muhammad or what hadiths we can trust. Sunnis. Sunnis are the main Muslim group. Some Sunnis may believe slightly different things, but they all agree in Tawheed, that Muhammad is the last prophet of Allah, that Sahih hadiths are the most authentic, and that Jesus will come to judge the world in the end. Think of Sunnis as mainline Christian denominations, like Orthodox, Catholic, and Protestant. Shia. Shias are very similar to Sunnis in very different ways, but very different in others. Everything I listed about Sunnis, Shias also believe, except Shias don't believe that all Sahih hadiths are most authentic. Instead, they will grade hadiths on who wrote them. There are also a lot of historical differences between Sunni and Shias, but we're not going to get into that right now, that's kind of a long conversation. Anywho, think of Shias as the weird denominations that some people may consider heretical, like Oriental Orthodox or Evangelicalism. Quranist. Quranists are the smallest Muslim denomination. The big thing about Quranists is that they only follow the Quran. Think of Quranists as a group of people who think that they're Muslim, but really aren't. Kind of like how Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses think that they're Christian, but they're really not. Understanding at least a small majority of Muslims and what they believe can help us respond to their needs, and to show them the gospel the way that they need to hear it. So it is important to understand what kind of Muslim they are. Although you'll most likely only run into Sunnis, it's still nice to have Shias and Quranists in the back of your head. The Quran. The Quran is the holy book of the Muslims. The Quran is made up of 114 chapters, which are called surahs, and 6,236 verses, which are called ayahs, and also 640 pages. These surahs will have different names attached to them. Here are some examples. Surah Al-Fatah, Chapter 1, the opener. Surah Al-Baqarah, Chapter 2, the cow. Surah An-Nisa, Chapter 4, the women. Now, what do Muslims actually believe about the Quran? Muslims believe the Quran is the direct word of Allah. Muslims believe that the Quran is free from error and contradiction. Muslims believe that Allah protects the Quran from corruption. Muslims believe that there's only one Quran. Muslims believe that the Quran has never been changed. Hadiths. Hadiths are Islamic traditions and sayings of Muhammad and his companions, passed down and then later written down or recorded and written down during the time of Muhammad's life. There are thousands of hadiths, but sadly only a couple hundred have been translated into English, with most Arabic hadiths unavailable to English speakers. There are different gradings of hadiths. These gradings will make sure what you're reading can be trusted. We have Sahih Hadith, authentic, Hasha Hadith, good, Dafuk Hadith, weak, and Mafuk Hadith, dependable. There are some variables on these hadiths depending on the website and Muslim you ask. These grades may differ. For example, Jamu Tariq 2641 is graded Dafuk on Sana.com, but on, I can't even pronounce that, it is graded Hasha. Scholars will only use Sahih and Hasha hadiths. There are only two Sahih hadiths, and that would be Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. These are the most quoted hadiths. Muhammad. Muhammad is the main character in Islam. Muslims believe him to be the most important and last prophet of Islam. The beginnings of Muhammad in the Muslim paradigm starts like this. As a poor merchant in Arabia, Muhammad always felt that worshipping the false gods around him was wrong. And while he was in a cave, an angel came to him and told him that he was going to be the next prophet of Allah. After that interaction in the cave, Muhammad continued to get revelations from that angel and Allah. After learning about his origin story, it's important to know what Muslims actually believe about him. So here's a short list. Muhammad is the pattern of conduct for Muslims. Muhammad is the seal of the Prophet. The Bible spoke about Muhammad. Muhammad had a 6-year-old bride. Allah. Allah is just the Arabic word for God, but in the context of Islam, when I use the word Allah, I will be referring to the God of the Quran. There is a term in Islam called the 99 attributes of Allah. Some of these attributes are all-knowing, all-powerful, most loving, etc. These are essential to Allah's existence. Without these attributes, Allah is not Allah. Here's a good example. A square has 4 sides, but when the square loses a side, it becomes a triangle. Thus, the square needs an attribute of 4 sides to be a square. And if it stops having 4 sides, then it stops being a square. It's the same idea with Allah. When Allah stops being all-knowing or all-powerful, He stops being Allah. Let's step back from all the nerdy theology and look at what the Quran actually says about Allah. Allah is all-hearing and all-knowing. Allah created the earth in 2 days. Allah does not like disbelievers. Allah is one and not a trinity. Allah is a father to no one. Allah is the first and the last. Now time for Isa, aka Jesus. Whoa, crazy. Muslims don't believe in the historical Jesus. So when talking about the Muslim Jesus, we'll be referring to him as Isa, the Arabic name for Jesus. But what do Muslims actually believe about Isa? Muslims don't believe Isa is God, and that he was only a prophet. Muslims believe that Isa was not crucified. Muslims believe that Isa was not the son of God. Muslims believe that Isa will judge the world on the end times. Muslims believe that Isa was born of a virgin. And Muslims also believe that Isa is the Messiah. The Bible. The Quran never actually talks about the Bible. It discusses only parts of it. The Quran talks about the Torah, the Zabar, the Psalms, and the Injil, which is the Gospels. But what does the Quran actually say about these books? The people of the Gospel should judge by the Gospel. The people of the Torah and the Gospels have no ground to stand on unless they stand by the Torah and Gospel. The Quran confirms the Torah and Gospels. The Quran is a guardian over the Torah and Gospels. In more modern Islam, Muslims tend to reject what the Quran actually says about the Bible. Instead, they will listen to their scholars in Dawah. Now, it's important to see what these Dawa and Muslim scholars are saying about the Bible.
People have added things, people have taken out things. For that reason, we say that the Bible has been changed.
I'm going to show how the Bible continues to be corrupted today.
The question that the Christians believe that Bible is of God, and in the Bible there are many contradictions, and I do agree with you.
Now, depending on who you ask, all these questions or answers or things that they believe about the Bible will differ, but the main idea is still the same. Only trust the Quran. And that will lead you to hell. What? Pfft, crazy. Anywho, thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, please hit that subscribe button. And if you like this kind of content, then please watch the rest of my videos, or even check out my website. And if you really like the work here that's being done, please consider donating. It would really help me out. I'm a broke college student. But even if you don't, that's completely fine. Well, thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.